Hey there, I'm Lunsford, and you're watching a review of Mariano Goni's Password. What is up, you beautiful people? My name is Lunsford, and welcome back to another magic trick review here on the channel. If you're new here, then definitely consider subscribing and take a look around the channel at my past reviews. Now today we're going to be looking at Password. It's a really cool, it's not even an app actually, it's more like an online system that you're going to be using here that allows you to do pretty much anything you want to when it comes to predicting videos. Now I will get into a more in-depth review, but real quick I just want to say if you go to Mystique Factory's website and use code Tyler10 at checkout, then you can save 10% off your entire first order with Mystique Factory. Once again, I don't get any money from that. It is just me trying to help you guys save some money. But yes, let's go ahead and get into a more in-depth review of Password right now. Let's start out by talking about what actually is Password. Well, this is a really cool utility online system that you're going to be able to use and basically have unlimited possibilities with this. If you can think of how you want to predict a video with this online system, then you can do it using this system. There really is so many different possibilities. I'm going to run through the one that they actually do in the trailer. Now, for instance, this is what you can do. You can walk up to people on the street. Let's say you're in a big city, so there's cars everywhere, and you ask them to point at one car that goes by on the street. They can wait however long they want to until they point. It does not matter which car they point at. There really isn't a force. They can point at any car they see coming by. Now, before they even point out a car, you direct them to a link that can be in your Instagram bio, or maybe it's on Facebook. But anyways, you get them to a link that needs a password. The password will reveal your video prediction that you have for this effect. You then write down the password on a sheet of paper, or you can text it to them or whatnot. But the point is, the password does not change. It is there in full view the entire time. They then point at any car, and then you can input the password into the website that they're on that's about to reveal the hidden video prediction. When the prediction is open, it takes you to a YouTube link or a Vimeo page, either or, whichever one that you prefer, and is a link to a car commercial or you getting out of this specific car that they pointed at. Now, you're not limited to cars when you perform this effect. You can do this with anything. You can film your own videos and have them ready to go, so you could be getting out of the car, or it could just be a car commercial. If you don't want to film the videos, you can find random videos online. But I'm going to talk about what you get when you receive your package. In your package, you'll be getting a code that allows you to set up your own account on this online system. You will also be getting an instructional video that you can view online, and it's almost an hour long. In the instructional video, you're actually taught multiple different ways to accomplish this effect. There are 5 different ways that you can actually do this effect, depending on where you're performing, how you want to perform it, and what you want your outcome to be. Now, there are ways that you can perform this with touching the spectator's phone. You can perform this without touching the spectator's phone. It really is up to you on which method you use and how you want to present this. Let's talk about difficulty real quick. How difficult is this effect to perform? Honestly, not that difficult to perform, depending on which method you're actually using to accomplish this effect. There are ways that you can actually do a lot of memorization. There are ways in which you don't have to do any memorization at all. And it just really depends on which way you're going to do this. But for the most part, it's a pretty easy effect to accomplish. The hardest part of this effect will be spending the time to actually record all the different videos you need for this effect if you want to do it with your own custom videos, depending on how many different ways you want this to end. There are ways that use a force, and there's also ways that don't use a force, so it really just depends on what your personal preference is. It really is up to you. Is this examinable? Yes, the link that they go to is examinable because it is a real YouTube link. It's on YouTube, and they can examine it all they want to. It really is a real video that either you filmed, or it's like a commercial online that you found, or a video that you found. So it really is a real video and a real link. How are the angles? You are good to go for angles when it comes to this effect. You can perform this on the street, surrounded. It really doesn't matter on your angles. You're covered. There's really only 1 or 2 methods in which you actually need to worry about your angles, but for the most part, you're probably going to be performing the ones in which you don't need to worry about your angles, which is why I said you don't really have any angle restrictions. But if you're doing the certain methods that I'm talking about, then there are a couple angle restrictions, but they're not that bad. It's just kind of like 180, like one party can't see the thing that the other party's seeing. What's the initial setup look like? Is there any DIY? Is there any reset? No, there's no initial setup if you don't want to do custom videos. If you just want to go with the car commercials one, that's already preset. That's ready to go. You can do that right out of the package as soon as you learn the effect. You don't have to do any more type of preparing as long as you learn the effect. But if you want to do custom videos, then however long that takes you to film those and upload them to YouTube, then that's how long it's going to take you to initially set up for this effect. But per performance, you don't really have that much setup. You just need to make sure that you have the link somewhere where they can access it and you're ready to go. The reset time for this is actually really quick. You can do this in about, I'd say, 5 seconds before you can perform again. Just wait a few seconds and then you're ready to go. Are there negatives when it comes to performing Password? Now, I did mention that it is a completely free choice and that there's no force involved. And while that's true to a certain extent, the negative is that you are limited in a way to what they can choose, but there is no force among a relatively large amount of items, so I don't want to go into really any more depth there, but there is a really large selection that they can choose from. Since there's such a large selection they can choose from, that's why I said there wasn't a force, because it really doesn't feel like there's a force, and it honestly isn't really that much of a force because they have so many different choices to choose from. Are there any positives to performing Password? Yes, the idea that your imagination is really the only thing that's going to be limiting you here is really cool. I also loved how there's different methods of input for this effect. There's 5 different ways you can do this, and I really liked how you don't just have to stick to one way. If you want to do it one way and then you don't like that way, learn another one, do it that way, which I really appreciate that there's multiple ways to accomplish this effect. I kind of just talked about this, but I want to reiterate it because it is an important point. You are only limited by your imagination. Like, if you can think up a trick you want to do with all these choices they have and they can choose from one and it's predicted on your YouTube app or this video that you have with the link that's password protected, then you can do it as long as you think it up. There's just so many different things you can do with this utility online system. What should this retail as? Well, this currently retails at $60 US, and do I think that it should retail for that? Is that a fair price? Yes, I do think it should retail for $60. I wouldn't necessarily go too high on it because, like I said, it is something that someone put time into developing, but obviously I wouldn't go way up into paying a ton of money for this. But $60, yeah, it's a fair price to pay. I'd pay $60 for this. What would I give this out of 10? I would give this a 9.5 out of 10. The only reason I docked it half a point is because I do like all the things you can do with it, and like I said, there's not really a force involved, but you are limited by a certain amount of things, but it is a really large number. Like, you're probably not gonna, it's probably not gonna be an issue for you, but I just want to throw that out there. I do want to let you know, and sometimes people are weird about performing technology magic. Like, if you show someone a trick with a cell phone, they're automatically just gonna assume it's technology, and I think that's just something you have to get around. And if you can get around that whole technology magic idea where people are just not impressed because it's just software and it's just an app, even though this isn't really an app, I just think that's something you need to get around, but it's a solid effect, a solid 9.5 from me. Should you pick up Password? If you are a fan of technology magic and you like prediction effects, then yes, pick this up because you can totally do some amazing things with this, and I think you're really going to like it. That about does it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope I was able to help you make a more informed decision about whether or not you want to purchase Password. If you would like to, link can be down below in the description. And hey, also in the description is a link to my Instagram page. There you can follow me on Instagram at TarOnSomeMagic. I do some like previews of stuff I'm going to be reviewing, some performances, some of my own original stuff. You can ask questions. All sorts of different stuff is going down over there, so definitely just go check that out if you would like to. I'd like to thank Mystique Factory for sending me this product so I can do the review for you beautiful people. Remember to use code TYLER10 at checkout and save 10% off your entire first order with Mystique Factory. And thank you, most importantly, thank you for clicking on this video, watching it. I hope you leave feeling more informed. I really do appreciate you spending some of your time with me today. But once again, thank you so much for just spending some time with me today watching this video, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. See ya.